Hi, hello, welcome back to this channel. I'm really surprised I'm making another video, but anyway, let's just get to it. So this video is my top 10 tips on dealing with anxiety. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, etc. So just making that clear, these maybe they might solve your anxiety, but for me, they just help me get through every day. So yeah, let's just jump into it. My top 10 tips on dealing with anxiety. Alright, so if I keep looking down, it's because I've got it all written out on my iPad, so just excuse that. Alright, so the first tip I have for dealing with anxiety is music. Music has helped me through so much. I've always loved music my whole life. Just putting some headphones in, even just blasting it on my laptop can be so therapeutic when I get really anxious and down, or even if I'm like kind of hyper with my anxiety and I just need to, it's a bit embarrassing, but just like dance for a while. Also, side note, excuse the no makeup, no jewelry kind of thing. I thought I'd try and be more raw for you guys. This is what I really look like. I'm not always done up in makeup, etc. Apologies if this mic is not working properly. But yeah, I just thought I'd try and be more real with you guys since a lot of YouTubers have all this fancy lighting and obviously I don't. I've switched up my background. It's a little bit better than last time, but anyway, that's besides the point. Alright, so back to point number 1, which was music. My recommendations are, first of all, if you're not feeling too anxious, to listen to really happy music. Any like pop kind of songs like Ariana Grande. Who else have I got here? I've got Taylor Swift, Justin Timberlake, those kind of people, Beyonce, just some happy upbeat songs, like, you know, the top charts people, whatever. But if you are feeling quite anxious, it is a bit exhausting, but sometimes I do feel better if I just put on some really sad kind of music and just let it out for 10 minutes and just sometimes I put my headphones in and just sit there and cry for 20 minutes. I mean, it sounds depressing, but afterwards I find that it really helps. So yeah, so in terms of that kind of music, my favorite song right now is I'm a Mess by Baby Rexha. That is an amazing song if you're if you just need a crying moment, traumatic moment. But otherwise, Ed Sheeran, he's always a tearjerker in some of his songs. Anyone like that, just some slow, sad music, or even like really intense, sad music, I cry to sometimes, which is kind of embarrassing, but it helps, so that's why it's on this list. Alright, so I'm 4 minutes in and I've only talked about one thing. Alright, let's move along. Alright, so point number 2 is animals. Animals are the best thing for anxiety, if nothing else. I have a pet myself. She's a border collie. I love her to bits. She is my best friend. I've always had dogs in my life. I mean, it doesn't have to be a dog though. It can be a cat, a bird, a hamster, like anything. Like, we've had guinea pigs, we've had other animals that I can't think of. We've had birds. There are cats in the family. But yeah, my favorite is dogs personally, because they don't judge you, and you can just talk to them and they probably think you're crazy, but it's very therapeutic. So even if you just sit with your animal outside and just with no one else and just pet them, and I don't know, it's just, I find it really anxiety relieving, which is why it's on this list. Um, so yeah, dogs is my number one, but I mean, to each their own. Anyway, so the next point is finding a hobby. So I myself play the flute. I haven't played it recently. I kind of had to give it up at school because I had a really mean teacher. But I still can play it. I did play it for many years. But just finding something, anything, whether that's reading a book, I don't know, gaming, listening to music. My first point was dance. Dance is a really good one for me. I've tried to get into dance again since school. I was in school. When I was in school, I did dance. I did all the performances. It was amazing. I love being on stage. That's my favourite thing to do. So yeah, I'm trying to get back into dance at the moment, but I just had my appendix taken out, so I can't dance for another few weeks, which really sucks because I'd just gotten into it again, and I was doing ballet and tap and contemporary, and then my appendix decided to give out on me, so oh well, we'll try again next term. But yeah, so just finding a hobby, anything that'll take your mind off whatever's going on in your life right now. Just distract yourself, pretty much. All right. The next point I've got down here is, now this is a little bit of a, not controversial, but some people think it's not a good thing, but I enjoy it personally. It's retail therapy. So I love shopping, probably a little too much for my own good. So yeah, but it doesn't have to be expensive things. Like, people are like, oh, retail therapy, like really gonna go out and waste your money. It doesn't have to be that. Like, even just going out, even if you had $2, like go out and buy yourself a chocolate, a lollipop, something, just because you deserve it. Like, if you have anxiety like I do, or any other mental illness, it's tough, and I reckon that you deserve it. So go and get yourself a treat. Who cares what anyone else thinks? But yeah. All right, next point. What do we have? Finding someone to vent to. Now, this can be really hard for some people, especially for me. As I've mentioned before, I've been through many psychologists, counsellors, doctors, etc. through the years, and I've just never found anyone that I really clicked with. And I just always felt like I was forced to say things, and it was just really uncomfortable, and I hated it. Yeah, I'm also not the closest with my parents, which kind of sucks. So it's really hard for me to find someone to vent to. But even if that's just a friend, like I have one friend, she's my best friend, and I feel like I can tell her pretty much anything, and that's amazing for me, because I know it's so much in your head that even just writing it down or venting to someone can be so relieving. Like, it just takes this weight off your chest, I feel like. But if you can't find someone to vent to, even just going back to your pet, your animal, and just talking to them, even though they may not understand you, although I think they do sometimes. But yeah, that can be very therapeutic as well. But if you can't find anyone at all, you have nothing, there's always journal writing, which I found really therapeutic for a part of my life when I was younger in high school. I have like 3 full diaries of random thoughts and just me venting to myself, but I can't explain it. It's just, even though it's just to a book and it's just written down, it just feels like you're able to shut that book and put those thoughts away for a while, and you know they're there, so you don't have to think about them. I don't know, it's just, it's so helpful sometimes just to write things out. Just write how you feel. Doesn't matter if it's grammatically correct, like who cares? Just write it down and shut the book and stop thinking about it for a while. Because I don't know, it's weird because when you're overthinking, you feel like you have to keep thinking about it because you're stressing about it. But if you write it down, it's so hard to explain, but if you write it down, it's like you've said it to someone and they know and they're keeping it in their memory, so you don't have to think about it anymore, if that makes sense. I don't know, it's just me. But anyway, so yeah, as I said, I have 3 full diaries of weird cringy thoughts that I never look at because they will make me cringe. But yeah, they're stowed away somewhere where nobody can find them except for me. And I don't plan to read them in the near future. Alright, next point. I've got written here, so another helpful thing is sometimes you just need to be by yourself. Just no electronics, no other people, no animals. Just you need to lock yourself in a room. I have a corner in my room where I can sit there and nobody can find me. And I just lock my door and I sit there by myself. And if you need to cry, you cry. Or sometimes I just sit there and stare at the wall and just think, just let my mind run wild. It's can be very helpful sometimes when you're just very overwhelmed, especially in school and uni. That's always very overwhelming. So yeah, just lock yourself in a room somewhere, whether that's even the toilet, the bathroom, like just lock yourself in there. If you're at work, you can just lock yourself in a cubicle for 5 minutes. Honestly, no one notices that you disappeared, in my experience. But yeah, just getting away from the world for even 2 minutes is sometimes very helpful and can get your mind straight again. Well, not totally, but it is helpful in my experience. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, but anyway. Oh yeah, and a side note with that, being somewhere by yourself, I work full time, so I like to get the car most of the time because I have a car that I share with the rest of my family. So I like to get that car as often as possible and take it to work with me, because I honestly hate sitting in the lunchroom and having to talk to people. I find that very just anxiety provoking and really uncomfortable. Like I feel like I have to make conversation and be happy and whatever. So when I do have the car, I always take my hour lunch break and I go somewhere, I get takeaway, and I will just sit in a car park somewhere, just in the Woolworths car park, because I'm in Australia. It's just a supermarket if you don't know what it is. But yeah, they have big car parks, so I just go sit there. I put my windscreen thing up, you know, the sun shields you put on your windscreen so nobody can see me, and I just blast the music. Well, not blast it, but I turn up the music and I put the aircon on because it's hot in Australia. Sorry about that. And I just eat by myself and just be alone, and it's kind of like almost meditating, but not. And then I am able to go back to work and feel a bit refreshed, a bit. I mean, work is draining for me, but yeah, it helps. Anyway, so next point, not sure what number we're up to. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is point number 6. All right. So this is a bit of a bizarre one for some people. It's going to sound a bit weird, but find something that you can just do with your hands, and not in that way. Don't go down that path, please. But I mean, like, you know how squishies and slime are huge on YouTube at the moment. It's very therapeutic to play with them, like just, and it also, bonus added point, it will stop you from biting your nails. If you're a nail biter, like me, I used to be, or I still pick at myself, that's a nervous habit, it will stop you from doing that, which is fantastic. But yeah, so I love squishies. I'm not a huge slime fan just because it's a bit messy, whereas I can keep a squishy with me if I need it, like a stress ball, or just even something soft that you can, I don't know, it just takes your mind off things, and you just, because your mind is focused on what you're doing with your hands. So anyway, that's a bit of a weird one, but I mean, if anyone else there finds that helpful, then anyway. So the next one is just find a game or a book or whatever it is and just lose yourself in it. I have a Nintendo Switch for that very reason. I can lose myself in playing Zelda Breath of the Wild for hours on end. And you just don't think about anything else because you're too worried about the game. I just sit in my bed, turn all the lights off, like close the curtains, and just lay back and just play that for a while. Anyway, I have to stop this, but anyway. Alright, sorry about that. I had a visitor, but I'm back. Now I've tried to turn these lights back on and they appear to be flickering on me. I've tried to change the batteries and didn't do anything, so that's great. Looks like we're going to need a new set of lights. Sorry about that, guys. Hope that doesn't affect any of you. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So yeah, just losing yourself in a game or a book or anything, but as I said before, I bought myself a Switch, but it doesn't have to be that expensive. Like, even if you have a deck of cards, there's hundreds of card games you can play. Even if you just make up a game with your friend or even by yourself, like I Spy is a good one if you know how to play that, or I don't know, just imaginary games, you know, just something to distract you again. So yeah, that's another suggestion if that helps anyone. Alright, so one thing I did want to mention, if you have an iPod or an iPhone or an iPad, I think you can get this on iPad, I'm not too sure, but there's an app called Self-Care. I just found it the other day. It is really good just to get your mind off things. The best thing about it is it doesn't have ads, but it is free, which is unheard of these days. So it's completely free, has no ads, and just has mini games that you can play just to get your mind off things, like just random little funny games. And the goal of the game, well, not really a goal, but all my lights really are flickering now. Anyway, but yeah, so the goal of the game is to make the sun rise in your bedroom. It sounds a bit weird unless you've played the game, but yeah, so you start off being in the dark, the sun hasn't risen at all, but as you play the games, the sun will rise, and it's more of a visualization of you taking care of yourself. And so the more you play the games, the more you may become more happy, and so the sun comes up. I don't know, that's a really bad explanation, but go check the app out. This is not in any way sponsored by them. I just found the app myself and really enjoy it. So yeah, there's a suggestion. Alright, so the next point we've got is this, YouTube, of course. So YouTube has always been a big part of my life, just like music has. I love YouTube. I spend 95% of the time that I spend on the internet on YouTube. So yeah, I'm pretty addicted. I should probably stop watching YouTube videos at some point, but never. But yeah, you can basically find anything and everything you need on YouTube. The best thing I find most times is comedy. So my absolute all-time favorite YouTubers are Jenna Marbles and Julian Solomita. I love them so much. If you guys are watching, I love you so much. Their videos never fail to make me laugh, like actually laugh out loud, which is rare. Yeah, they're an amazing couple. And yeah, I love their videos. So if you want to subscribe to Jenna Marbles, I'm sure most of you know who she is, or Julian Solomita, or they also have their podcast, which is amazing, the Jenna and Julian podcast. I watch that every week, and always look forward to it coming out. But yeah, so that's a suggestion. Otherwise, you can really find anything you want on YouTube, even videos like this, like to deal with anxiety if you need it. But yeah, anything like that. A few of my favourite YouTube channels are Saucony Jolies, the Shaytards, their family vloggers, 8 Passengers. Who else did I have written down? Oh, PewDiePie, of course. He's hilarious. I love watching his videos every day. Shane Dawson, oh my god, love his videos so much. Simply Now Logical. I am a holosexual, if that's anything to anyone. What else? Oh, I also love watching makeup videos. So Jeffree Star, love Jeffree Star. Tati Westbrook. Who else have I got? Oh, this is a YouTube channel I've only found in the last couple months, but her name's Amber Scholl, and she is amazing. She's so extra, but she's so just happy and full of life. I love watching her videos, and she loves bling, and I love bling too. Alright, also, well, this is this side point to the YouTube. I don't know, I know some of you guys are probably a bit creeped out by it, maybe, but ASMR. ASMR stands for Autonomous Meridian Sensory Response, I believe. But I found it a couple years back, and I've never looked back. Now, I don't fancy the creepy ones. Like, I know there's a few out there that are really just creepy, and I don't like the food eating ones. They gross me out. But tapping and scratching are my all-time favorite, and just people rambling but in a quiet tone, if that makes sense. It's just so relaxing, and I've gotten to the point now where I can't fall asleep without it. So if you want to check it out, just type in ASMR in YouTube. There's also ASMR videos specifically for anxiety, and I love those so much. They're just like personal attention kind of thing, especially for me, because I've struggled to find other people to talk to. So just those videos really help me sleep at night, and just calm down. So if you want to check those out, feel free. Alright, so this is my last point, so this is number 10. This is a bit of a more real one, I guess. So yeah, let's just be real. The last 9 things that I've listed may not and probably will not always work. If you have severe anxiety like me, I find it really hard to cope sometimes, if I'm past the point of no return, if that makes sense, and I'm just hysterical, which, trust me, I've been there a few times. It's not fun. But so one of the things I like to do about that, first of all, is have it's almost like a safety bag, or just get any little purse or little pencil case or something, and just fill it with things that you may need throughout the day, like Panadol, Nurofen, Band-Aids, pads if you're a girl, tampons, any of that kind of thing. Just like lip balm, it's a good one. I always need that. And anxiety medication if you have it. But yeah, I just love I keep that in my handbag at all times, or your school bag. I used to keep it in that. But yeah, it's really helpful, and I just love knowing that it's there. It makes me feel kind of safe, that if anything does happen, I've got stuff to help me. But yeah, that's real talk. But one last thing I want to say is that in the last 12 months, my doctor has found this medication for me that has been a true godsend. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but it's called oxazepam. It is amazing stuff. I've been on many medications throughout the years, but a lot of them, like, you know, the ones that you have to take every day and they take 6 weeks to take effect, like, ain't nobody got time for that. So this one, you just take half of a tablet, and it works almost immediately. It's fantastic. So you only take it when you need it. People would think you'd overdose on it, but I think for me, having it there is like a safety net for me, I guess. And I don't take it as often as you think I would, just because I know it's there. So I know that if it gets that bad, it's there for me, if that makes any sense. So I'm less likely to take it, the fact that I have it in my handbag at all times. But yeah, so if any of you out there are lost, maybe suggest that to your doctor. I'm not saying go out there and beg your doctor for it. Please don't come after me. But yeah, my doctor just suggested it to me one day, and I tried it, and it's amazing. It's like heaven on earth when you're in that really bad state. So yeah, I guess that's my top 10 tips of dealing with anxiety. Hopefully you found something useful or helpful in this video. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you'd like to join me on this journey. Hopefully I'll have better lights in the next video, we'll see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to making more videos for you guys. Hopefully you guys find it helpful in any way. Also, if you're going to be negative, this is a place, I want this channel to be a safe place for people like me who can just come and talk in the comments, just relate to each other. Hopefully my videos are helpful in some way. But yeah, if you're going to be negative and nasty, please leave, or I will have to block you, unfortunately. Just please don't be like that. Like, nobody likes that. So yeah, but if you like these videos, if you want to see more, just subscribe down below, leave me a comment telling me what you'd like to see in the future. I do have a few video ideas, but I am slowly running out, even though I've only just started this channel, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's it, you guys. I guess I'll see you in my next video. Alright, bye guys.